In this tutorial, we'll demonstrate how to create a custom single blog post page using JupyterX's Layout Builder and Elementor. We'll also cover how to configure display conditions, so this template applies to all blog posts for a consistent, branded look. And if you're new here, JupyterX is a WordPress theme that supports Elementor, no Elementor Pro needed, with 200,000 plus users, 450 plus ready sites, and WooCommerce features that replace many paid plugins. Before we get started, note that this method only works when simplicity mode is enabled. Let's begin by navigating to the Layout Builder within the JupyterX menu. Next, I'll proceed to the Single Layout Builder page. Here, we will customize the appearance of our single blog posts. As you can see, the Single Layout section is now open, which allows us to manage templates for single posts. I'll click the Add New button to create a new layout for our single blog posts. First, let's select the Name input field to specify a name for our new single blog layout. Now, I'll type Blog Single in the Name input field. Next, I'll click the Create button. This will open the Elementor editor, where I can choose a pre-built template. However, in this video, I'm going to create one from scratch. As you can see, the Elementor editor is now open. Let's close the library panel so that we can start with a blank canvas. I'll click the plus button to select a layout structure for the blog post. You can now choose the structure you would like to use. I'll choose the Flexbox layout option to create a flexible structure for the blog post. Let's open the Add Element menu to choose widgets for the layout. The Add Element menu is now open, displaying a variety of widgets and elements that can be added to the layout. I'm scrolling down through the Widgets panel to discover more options. To better organize the Widgets panel, I'll minimize the basic widgets, so I can access only the widgets that I need. Minimize the general widgets too. Now, let's drag the post title element from the Elements panel to the main content area of the page. The post title is now added to the layout. The left panel displays all the controls for the post title widget, where you can customize its appearance and settings. Let's open the Add Element menu again to add another widget. I'm expanding the Basic Widgets menu. I also need an image widget to represent the featured image for the blog single. Now I'm dragging the image widget from the Elements panel below the title. Now we need to use the dynamic tags to change the image behavior to utilize the featured image instead of just a static image. So I am opening the Dynamic Tags menu for the image. I'll select Featured Image to dynamically populate the image with the blog post featured image. The image is now configured to display the featured image of the blog post. This blog single will display correctly when viewing it on your website. However, inside the Elementor editor, it might appear empty, since it doesn't populate an actual blog post. To address this, I'll show you how to adjust the preview settings. Now, let's navigate to the Single Settings tab to configure the settings. This action opens the Single Settings panel, which contains General and Preview settings. I'll expand the Preview settings to configure the Layout Preview. In the Preview Dynamic Content as drop-down, let's select Posts to dynamically generate the preview from existing posts. This selection will populate the preview using an existing blog post. Now, I will type A to find a random post from the list. Let's select a post from the list to use as the preview. I'll click Apply and Preview to load the preview with the selected post. Now the preview should update with the featured image and title from the selected blog post. Now let's drag the post meta element into the blog post area. I have now added the post meta information to the layout, which displays details such as the author, date, and categories. Now let's open the Add Element menu to select more widgets. Now I'm scrolling down the widgets list to see more elements that I can use for my single blog, like post comments, post terms, post navigation, and post content. There is also an author box. Feel free to use any of them. For this video, I'm going to use post content and the author box. So let's drag the post content widget into the page. The post content area is now added to the layout, displaying the main text and media of the blog post. Now let's open the Add Element menu to add another widget to our layout. Now I'll drag the author box element into the blog post area, placing it below the post content. I have now added the author box to the layout, which displays the author's avatar, name, and biography. Now that we've added all the elements we want, I'll click Publish to save the changes and apply them to the blog posts. Now let's click Add Condition to define where this template will be used throughout the site. Next, I'll click on the drop-down menu and select Singular to specify that this template applies to single posts. Next, let's select Post, so the template applies to all blog posts. Now that we've configured the display conditions, let's click Save and Close to apply these settings. Now let's switch to view our website. Let's click this post to see if our design is reflected. As you can see, the featured image, title, post meta, content, and author box are displayed according to our design specifications. In summary, we have demonstrated how to create a bespoke single blog post template using JupyterX and Elementor. By leveraging the Layout Builder and key Elementor widgets, along with dynamic tags, we achieved a unique and visually appealing blog post design. Finally, we configured display conditions to ensure the template applies to all single blog posts. This approach provides full control over the appearance of individual blog posts, contributing to a cohesive brand experience.